Photoshop is one application I believe every designer should know how to use. Switching from Ceasar Graphics, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to create oil paint poster that is suitable for designing projects like album art, festival project, party poster, and so on. To really enjoy this tutorial, you need one of this. Now, I believe everybody should invest in this. But if you don't have a graphics tablet, you can still use your mouse, but it's just that the mouse is going to slow you down. Without any further, alright, so if you need the exercise file for this project, simply get it from the link in the description section of this video. So the first thing we're going to do is to add the Ceasar Graphics Smudge brush. So to do that, you need to be on your brush tool, and I'm going to click on this drop down arrow, and I'm going to click on this gear icon and select import brushes. And now I'm going to locate where I have the brush saved on my PC. Alright, so this is it here. So I'm going to double click on it. So this is the brush here. So I'm going to create a new document now. I'm going to click on file and I'm going to select new. Alright, so I'm going to call this Lebron. Okay, then my width is going to be 1920 by 1080 because I'm posting this on YouTube. Okay, I want to make this my YouTube banner. So my resolution is going to be 100, and I'll make sure my unit is set to pixels, and color mode is going to be RGB, and I'm going to leave every other settings the way they are, and I'm going to select the create button. Alright, so I'm going to drag and drop LeBron James picture, and I'm going to scale it. I'll scale it a bit more. Let's make it real big. Position this here. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add the black and white adjustment because I want to be able to split the colors on the face. Alright. I want to be able to split the mid-tone, the highlight, and the shadow on the face of Lebron. So I'm going to call this Lebron. So I'm going to add the black and white adjustment, and I'm going to change my blend mode to soft light, and I'm going to dial down my red to something around 40, let's say minus 42, I guess. Let's just make it 42. All right, this is good. And I'm going to make the yellow, I'm going to push the yellow up, and I'll make that let's say, no, let's make it 111, and I'm going to select the brush tool, go to the brush settings. I'm going to select the brush tool here, and I'll be on my soft round brush because I don't want the black and white adjustment to affect the eyes. Alright, I'm going to take it out from the nose, and then it's the lips, just here. So, okay. And so the next thing I'm going to do is to stamp visible of the layers. So I'll do that by holding down Ctrl Shift Alt and then E, and I'll go to filter and I'll go to filter gallery. Okay, so I'll make my thickness to be 7, edge intensity is going to be 0, and posterize is going to be 2. Alright, now the reason why I decided to make posterize 2 is because I want to be able to split the colors on the face, and that's why I decided to make my posterization 2. If I make it go higher than 2, this is what I'm going to get, but I don't want that, so I want it to be on 2. So I'm going to select the OK button, and now I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call this Smudge. Okay, and I'm going to select the OK button. I'm going to select the Smudge tool. So if you are looking for it, it's under the blur tool. Okay, so I'm going to select the Smudge tool now, and I'm going to make sure that I'm on the Ceasar Graphics brush that we just imported now. So this is it here. So I'm going to click on it. So if you're looking for it, just mouse over the brush and then you see the name CG Smudge on the brush. All right, then I'm going to scale down my brush and make sure that sample all layers is checked, and my strength is going to be 100. Okay, so there's a way you need to apply this smudge brush to the picture. All right, now when you're doing this, please avoid going from up down like this, because doing that is going to affect the effect that we're trying to achieve here. And when you are applying the smudge tool again, avoid extending from this side down to this side like this. It's not going to help the project. Okay, and then there's a way that I'm going to direct my brush movement, so I need you to follow the same concept, and I'll be changing the size of my brush. All right, I'm going to be changing the size of my brush as I apply the smudge brush, and also I'll be changing the angle of my brush, because the angle I want the brush to face on the forehead is different from where I want it to face on the chin. So I'll be changing the angle of my brush with these angle settings here. The fact that my applying the smudge brush is faster in the video does not mean my applying it here is fast. Okay, so when you're applying the smudge brush, you need to make sure that you apply it gently, because applying it too fast is going to not make you achieve the effect. Okay, so I'm going to start now. now is to stamp visible of the layer. So I'm going to do that by holding down Ctrl Shift Alt and E. So I'm going to add contrast to the pixels. So to do that, I'm going to go to filter and select sharpen and select on sharp mask. Alright, so I'm going to make my amount 37 and my radius is going to be 26, like so, and I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'll go back to filter again and select sharpen and select smart sharpen. So now you see that the details on the face of our character is now stronger, and I'm going to leave my amount to be 279, radius is going to be 0.8, and noise is going to be on 0. Then remove is going to be on lens blur, and I'm going to select the OK button like so. Alright, then the next thing I'm going to do is to add highlights and shadow to this. So to do that, I'll go to the curve adjustment and I'll start with the highlight by dragging this up like so. And I'm going to hit the Ctrl I on my keyboard to reverse the mask. And I'll go to my brush settings and select the brush tool. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the Ceasar Graphix Smudge brush, which is this. I'm going to reduce the size of my brush and I'm going to gently apply. So make sure that your foreground is set to white. So I'm going to click on this icon here to swap the colors, and I'll zoom in and I'll gently apply the brush to the scene. So I'm going to add another curve and I'm going to make this the shadow. So I'll drag this down and I'm going to hit the Ctrl I on my keyboard to reverse the mask. You know what? Let's just give our layers names. So I'm going to call this shadow and I'm going to make this the highlights. I'll scale my brush big like so. Then I'll gently apply that. I'll be on the. So make sure you are on the layer mask of the shadow layer when applying the brush. So I'm going to gently apply that now. So I'm going to stamp visible of the layers again by holding down Ctrl Shift Alt and E. Call this oil paint. So then I'm going to create a new layer behind this layer and call this brush BG. Okay, and I'm going to select the OK button. So I'm going to hold down Ctrl and click on the thumbnail of this layer to create a marquee of Lebron James, and I'm going to click on the oil paint layer and add a layer mask to it. Now the reason why I made this move is because I'm going to apply a brush to this layer here, and if I don't add a layer mask to this, I won't be able to see the. I'm going to show you what I'm saying. So if I apply, sorry, I'm going to select this layer, and if I apply brush to this now, you know what, let me increase the size of my brush. If I apply brush to this now like so, and I don't have the layer mask, so let's just say the layer mask is on this layer. Now you see we can't see the brush. I'm going to drag the layer mask back to the layer, and now you can see what's behind the layer of the oil paint. Draw a marquee selection like so and just delete this. Alright, then I'll go to the brush tool again, select the brush settings tab here and close the spacing because I don't want space in between my brush, and I'm going to sample a color from the face of Lebron James here, and I'm going to just apply the brush like so. So the next thing I'm going to do again is I'm going to hold on Control again and click on the same layer to create a marquee, and I'm going to create a new layer and call this stroke. I'm going to click on the select menu and I'll go to modify and select expand, and I'm going to make this 14. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to separate the character from the background. So I'm going to pick a color from here and click the OK button. Then I'll hold on Alt and click the backspace to apply the color to the layer. So I'll hit Ctrl D. We can see some white lines around the oil paint layer here. So we need to take that out. So I'm going to click on the layer mask of the oil paint layer, and I'll go to filter and select other and select minimum. So once I click on minimum, you see the lines go off, and I'm going to select the OK button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my colors. So I'm going to click on the adjustment button here and click on solid, and I'm going to change the color of this to yellow. All right, make this yellow and click on the OK button. So we need to blend this. So to do that, I'm going to double click on the layer to bring out the layer style. So double click. I need to move this out of my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'll hold on Alt and split the slider, and this should go this way, like so. And I'll move this here. You know what? Let's just make this 228. Okay, then this needs to be here. Then I'm gonna move this here. Now hold on Alt and break the slider, and this should come here, and this should go, let's say, here like so. And I'm gonna select the OK button. Then I'm gonna go to the same button again here, and I'm gonna select solid again, and this time I'm gonna use red. So I'll move red and select the OK button. Then I'll double click again to bring out the layer style. So for the red, I'm gonna hold on Alt and break the slider, and this should be here like so, and this needs to be here. All right, so I'll hold on Alt again and break the slider, and this needs to be, let's see, I think it's okay like this. So for this, just gonna move this to, let's say, all right, this is good. Okay, so I'm gonna select the OK button, and I'll add my last color, which is green. So just in case you want to use the same color that I'm using here, you can copy this code and then insert it into the code box. So I'm going to select the OK button. I'm going to bring out the layer style again, and I'm going to move this here. Then I'll break the slider, and this needs to be here, and let's say this should be here. And I'll move this out like so. And I'll break the slider, and this should be, let's say, here. I think it's okay like this, and this should be, so here. Yeah, I think this is good. All right, then I'm going to select the OK button. So I want to see more of yellow here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all the layers, go to the brush BG layer. All right, I'm going to select the brush tool, reduce the size of my brush. I'm going to hold on Alt and just pick a color from here like so, and I'm going to make the layers visible. Then I'm going to start applying the brush like so. I want to see more of the yellow. So I'm taking out red from the eyes, so I'm going to select the brush tool and I'll make sure I'm on the hard brush this time, and I'm just going to, so I'll make sure that your foreground is set to black, and I'm going to take out red like so, and I'm also going to take out the green. So I want just only the yellow. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'm going to stamp visible of the layers and call this sharp plus oil, and I'll go to filter, select sharpen, and select smart sharpen. Alright, so I want to bring out the details on the layer, so I'm going to select the OK button, and I'm going to go to filter again, go to stylize, and select the oil paint filter here. Alright, so I'm going to make my stylize 2.5, my cleanness is going to be 0.6, scale is going to be 0.8, and bridge 2 is going to be 10.0. Now if this is your first time of using this filter, make sure that lighting is not checked. So I'm going to select the OK button, create a new layer, and call this highlight, and I'm going to go back to the Ceasar Graphix brush again, scale down the brush. Now make sure that my foreground is set to white. Okay, we'll add white here, like so. So what I'm going to do now is to add my text. So if you want to save this for web, simply go to File, select Export, and then select Save for Web here. So you can select the format, alright, that you prefer here, but for me I prefer JPEG, and hit the save button here and then locate where you want to save your project. So I'm going to click on done. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you are able to achieve any project with the help of this tutorial, post it on your Instagram page, tag me. My Instagram handle is @CeasarGraphix. And if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to ring the bell so you will be notified when I post my tutorials. Share, like, and comment on this video. I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.